Hello everyone, welcome again. In the previous video we learned how to create VM instance and install our Apache HTTP server and connect it with our virtual machine, as we can see. So in this part of this video we will create a monitoring workspace and install monitoring agent and cloud logging agents. So how we can do that? First of all, let's go to the navigation menu and choose monitoring. From this section, as you can see, monitoring, and click on overview. Agents collect data and then send or stream info into cloud monitoring in the console. It's now finishing working space creation. It takes some or few minutes. So until it finish, let's have a quick look of the cloud monitoring agents. So cloud monitoring agent is collected base daemon that gather system and application metrics from virtual machine instance and send them to monitoring. By default, the monitoring agent collects disk, CPU, network, and process metrics. Configuring the monitoring agent allows third-party applications to get the full list of agent metrics. The cloud logging stream logs from our virtual machine instance from selected third-party software package to cloud logging. By the way, it's a best practice to run the cloud logging agent on all of our virtual machine instances. So as we can see, it now finished creating monitoring workspace, and here we can install agents and create uptime check and create alerting policies and create a custom dashboard. So in this video we will install agents and maybe we can create uptime checks if we have time in this video. So let's first of all install the agents. Before do that, let's have a quick look of the workspace. This is our monitoring workspace. We have the workspace ID, and here we can see an overview, and we can see the dashboards and metrics explorer, alerting, uptime checks, group settings. So we will know each one of them specifically in separate video. So let's install our first agents. And to set up the monitoring and logging agents, we have to copy this command line to install our monitoring script and this command line to install our logging script. And we will paste it, of course, in the SSH of our virtual machine. And this is the information which we said before about monitoring agents and about logging agent. So let's go back to our virtual machine instance and copy this to SSH. To do that, let's first copy and paste it in here in the SSH, which belong to our first virtual machine. And click on enter, and it's now installing the monitoring agent, and we are done. To install the logging agent, copy that and paste it again in the SSH and click on enter. Okay, so it's now installing the logging agent script. So okay, we have now installed our cloud monitoring agent and logging agent to our virtual machine instance through the SSH. Now we will create an uptime check. Uptime checks and verify that a resource is always accessible. So again, uptime checks verify that a resource is always accessible. Creating an uptime checks to verify your VM instance is up. To do that, we have to click on uptime checks and create our first uptime check through this button. Okay, for the title or for the name for this uptime check, we will name it LAMP uptime check, and for the check type we will leave it as HTTP. For the resource type we will select instance because we are target our virtual machine instance, and applies to single instance. And then as you can see, this is the only virtual machine instance we have in this account. So, and we will leave the other as default, and we will check every 1 minute, and then we can click test to verify that our uptime check can connect to the resource or to the virtual machine. So let's click test first. Okay, we received 200 OK requests in 280 milliseconds. So now our uptime check can connect to the virtual machine, and then click on save. It will ask us for creating alert policy, but for now we will click on no thanks, and in the second part we will create an alert policy individually. So let's click on no thanks. So now we have created an uptime check. So let's go to create an alerting policy, and to do that we have to go through alerting section and then create our first policy. So we can use cloud monitoring to create one or more alerting policy. So let's create our first alerting policy, and for the name we can name it inbound traffic alert, and for the condition we can target our GCE. Okay, GCE VM instance, because we are targeting our virtual machine instance. And for the metric we will write network and select network traffic. So the resource type is GCE VM instance and the metric is network traffic. And we will leave all of this section as default. Okay, and for the configuration we will leave this as default, but for threshold we will put 500. Okay, and now click on add. So we added our first condition. For the notification we will create a notification and we will select the channel type is email, and here you can write your personal email address. I will write my own and click on add. The last part is a documentation. In this part you can add a message in documentation which will be included in the emailed alert. So I will write this is a documentation test for the alerting policy. Okay, and click on save. As we can see, it's enabled. We have created our first alerting policy and connected it with our virtual machine instance. So that's all for this video. We have learned how to create an uptime check and alerting policy and how to create a cloud monitoring workspace. In the second part, we will create a dashboard and charts, and we will view our logs. See you in the next video. Bye bye.